on Thursday night and everything else because A-Rod is there, man. Like this, I thought this is what we wanted. I hope fans aren't getting scared about the pressure already. But yes, if we start off 1-1, it's gonna get ugly, like media pressure and all of the noise and all of that. But this is what you should want. Yeah. This is how championships are made. You get the team and you get the expectations. Okay, let's meet those expectations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's going to be a lot of pressure on us, going forward. Again, we got a bunch of primetime games, all that stuff. Now, my final question before I let you go, man. Quinnen Williams, extension not signed yet, right? We're continuing on. He's not at any of the voluntary stuff. What are your thoughts on this situation, man? I know Robert Saleh has talked about not being concerned about it. Are you concerned about how long that this can linger? And do you think that this could end up with him possibly missing mandatory stuff?
Well, I'm not really worried about him missing mandatory stuff or anything like that. As long as he's ready for week 1, I'm good. I could care less. I couldn't care less about the other stuff. But ultimately, I do think he's going to get paid. He's at a prime position to where people are comfortable locking money in, as we just saw the Giants do with Lawrence. So, yeah, I think the money is coming. Worst case scenario is what? We franchise him? But, yeah, I say he gets his money, so I'm not worried about it. And if he misses time, oh, well. I don't think he'll forget how to move people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so he'll be fine. I'm good.
Look, I get it, but my thing is I'm not panicking. I want to see it done sooner than later, but I will tell you, if this plays out quite a bit, we've seen guys come back. I think it happened to Revis, right? He missed quite a bit of time before we were able to sign him or get him, brought back, give him the type of cash he wanted, and then he had like a hamstring injury. I think it was Revis, but we've seen it as well with other guys too that sign kind of late, aren't out there the whole time, and then boom, they end up with hamstring injuries or certain things. I don't want it to play out that long, but again, like you said as well, I think it gets done.
But we got his brother on the roster though, right?
Go ahead.
We got his brother on the roster though, right?
Oh yeah, Quincy, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like there's a little bit more pressure on him because not only does he have to perform and keep in good standing in the building, but brother, if things go sour with you, your brother's career gets a little dicey as well. Like I think there's an added benefit to that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Giannis and his many brothers in the NBA. There's a little bit of pressure there. Like that has to get done. And then, when your brother's on the team, that also can stop this serious weight gain or surprise of somebody being not in shape or conditioning or anything like that. Because he does still have to look his brother in his brother in the eye.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, it was phenomenal to speak with you tonight, my friend. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. It's always great to hear your perspective on this football team and to go back and forth with you. You have yourself a good one, all right?
You do the same, brother. Thanks for letting me on. Appreciate
Absolutely. Have a good one. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Again, when you call in, please be patient. We'll get to everybody. Quite a bit to talk about. Next, we're going to go to 917. 917, we're coming directly to you. Ted, hold on a second. Other callers, we'll get to you folks in a second. 917, we're coming to you. You're looking like a new caller. Give me your name, where you're from. What are your thoughts about what we've heard from MEKHI Becton saying that the Jets shouldn't have put him in right tackle and that it made no sense? How are you feeling about it?
Mr. Joe, you know me.
Hey.
I know you. We used to talk going back and forth as Dan from Howard Beach with this. I got the new show going on, and I came by you as I'm like, I got to talk to my friend.
Let's go. Salutes to you, Dan. Good to hear from you again, man.
Let's go, Jets, baby!
What's going on, man?
Amped for this season.
Yeah, listen. We're talking that talk tonight, man. How are you feeling about the situation with Becton? Talking about the move to right tackle, knee injury last season. What are your thoughts on the whole situation, man?
So we're starting at 6 speed, not at first gear right now. Absolutely, let's go for it, Mr. Becton. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 2 months before training camp, this is what you throw out there, knowing what kind of GM you have. A GM that does not take any bleep from anyone. Jamal Adams, he started chirping. In due time, traded him to Seattle for 2 first-rounders. Last year, coming off the heels of the Green Bay Packer victory at Lambeau Field, Mr. Elijah Moore says, I want to trade. Really? You know about this GM. I'm telling you right now, Joe, he is not making the team.
What?
He's not making the team.
You think he's not going to make the...
Why.
Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely not. That's my hot take.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why. Come draft night, we already wanted Broderick Jones. We wanted him. And the Steelers knew it. Everyone knew it. Now, here we go. We start getting players, even last year, like with Max Mitchell and whatnot. We got the guy, Turner, from it was an ex.
Billy Turner. Yeah, Denver. He's also a Packer.
Billy Turner.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We got Carter Warren. And then yesterday, we brought in Kajus, another tackle from the Patriots, for a walk-in to see. You see, I think once training camp starts, there's no more entitlement. Becton is going to be third. He has to earn it. We got to start reading the tea leaves here. Salah said it. But not today. Today he said something very special that I'm going to get into. 2 weeks ago, Salah said as soon as Becton was brought up, he's got to earn it. He's got to earn it. And it's one of those where he's going to place the best 5 out there. And not for nothing. For a guy that played 15 games in 3 seasons, and you start chirping and spattering your mouth like that against management and whatnot, let me tell you something. It is not humanly possible to lose all that weight last year from the end of off-season activities to training camp. He put himself in that predicament. Again, Joe Douglas is an offensive line guru. That's his forte. And it's always to that point where, as a GM, they prize their draft picks. And maybe Becton was onto something, but you don't say it now. You prove the doubters wrong. Okay. And stop taking the selfie pics, will you? Please, Becton, enough.
What's wrong with the selfie pics?
The shadows. Like Elijah Vera Tucker does. Elijah Vera Tucker does things in the shadows.
Yeah, but what's wrong with this?
Don't do it in public.
What's wrong with the selfie? Listen,
because it's not one.
I get it, Dan. You don't like the selfie. Me personally, right? And again, I want to thank you for calling in. It's phenomenal to speak with you. Me personally, I don't mind the selfie pics, especially when the fact that he's a guy that's showing up, showing out. We've seen him, post pictures from the facility as well. He looks like he looks like he's in phenomenal shape. He was working himself, and it also motivated other people as well, motivated other Jets fans that followed him to get in the gym too. So I don't mind the selfie pics. I think it looks good. Here's the deal. I understand your perspective talking about, hey, don't come out and say things like this, especially we're working all the positivity you have going to the season. But I think, hey, he was just sharing his side of the story. But I disagree that he's going to be third. I think of MEKHI Becton, a fully healthy, and he looks like he's fully healthy, in shape, everything. I believe that MEKHI Becton is the best tackle on his team. I think he's better than Brown. I think he's better than Mitchell. I think he's better than Billy Turner. I think he's better than all of those guys. And when we were talking about taking Broderick Jones, it was to take a guy that could be on the other side of MEKHI Becton. I ran shows all throughout the draft, all through this year, all that stuff, and everybody was talking about how MEKHI Becton's going to come back, and he's going to be the guy we put on left side, and we need to figure out who's going to be on the right side. That was the discussions that I was having with people left and right. But I believe a healthy MEKHI Becton is the best tackle that we have, and I think he's one of the best tackles in this league because the last time we saw him fully healthy, that's what we saw. Give me your thoughts on that, Dan.
I couldn't disagree more because it's 15 games worth. We cannot say I can't agree with him being the best tackle on the team based off of 15 games and not being healthy. Now, that's one of the other caveats that we have to place into perspective as well. We finally have our jewel at quarterback. I do not feel comfortable having Becton, someone there who's a liability, who has not showcased something that he can stay healthy every year. Yes, it was certain freak accidents, but he did not maintain his body correctly even after that Carolina Panther injury. He didn't do what was necessary. The coaches, they said it last year before training camp. As long as he comes into shape, he didn't care. Now, if he takes the bull by the horns, which it seems like he has, but now the proof that's going to be in the pudding is when he's on the field. Enough of it. That's why I put the whole selfie pictures and all these outspoken remarks that, all right, you know what? You did it. You did it, MEKHI. Now, zip up, put your hard hat on. There's 2 months to go, and showcase not only to the fans, not only to the NFL, but showcase to Joe Douglas why he selected you that high. That high. Showcase it and work yourself up. And it goes the same for Zach Wilson, too. Even though we're not going to be talking about Zach Wilson, of course, but you can tell that he's taking a completely different approach. He is, you know what, I'm going to try to absorb everything that I can from Aaron Rodgers. If it works out, fine. If not, he's doing every movement on that chessboard in order to checkmate his move 2 years from now, or maybe a year and a half from now. We don't know how long Aaron Rodgers is going to be a New York Jet. But we're all in this season. Kai has to bring his best, or he's not going to be on the team.
No,
I don't think he's on a thin wire.
Okay, look, I hear you. I don't know about him not making the team. I'll disagree with that, but I do. I understand your perspective. But some of the other things that you covered as well. You talked about Zach Wilson, right? We're seeing him being talked about quite a bit. Positive moves that he's making. A lot of great things that we've seen him do already in OTAs. And again, it's early in OTAs. But everybody's talking about the influence and the impact of Aaron Rodgers, not only on him, but on the team as a whole. CJ Uzomah's talking about how he's breaking things down in the film room, the leadership that he's showing, the attention to detail. He stops things and breaks it down if he sees things aren't right. Give me your thoughts, man, about Aaron Rodgers being here and the leadership that we're already seeing out of him dealing with this football team.
How long has it been, my friend? How long has it been? I mean, the last time I could say that leadership, right? That leadership at that position, I would have to say 2 quarterbacks that I can remember. And I'm talking about Vinny, and I'm talking about Chad Pennington. When they walked in there, and it wasn't a freak show, it was business. We're going there. We're going to have fun. We got to hit him right where it hurts. Now, some can say, what about the Fitzpatrick days? Yeah, I enjoy the Fitzpatrick days, but we all kind of saw that it was kind of pseudo. It was fool's gold there at quarterback, and we all fell in for it, and it was a house of cards. Now, with Aaron Rodgers stepping into that huddle, stepping into one Jets drive, you have that presence, you have that charisma, you have your general, you have your next Joe Namath. You have that. Finally. Now, the pieces are getting all puzzled together. And what he brings to the table, look at what Garrett Wilson did with 4 scrubs at the position. 4 scrubs. He, Rookie of the Year. Imagine what he will do with Aaron Rodgers. Imagine what all these other amazing targets in Uzomah, in Conklin, Lazard, who already has a rapport with him, and on and on. Corey Davis, maybe. Does he still make the team? I say yes. Aaron Rodgers likes veteran wide receivers or very high IQ wide receivers as Garrett Wilson and the wide receiver that he had in Watson in Green Bay. He doesn't want to groom or grow with a wide receiver that's just learning the ins and outs. No, you put him in there, that's what he has. The Jets are giving him that firepower that he has been clamoring for the past 5 years in Green Bay. He's got it. And we're building that wall. Sorry to go back to the offensive line, but we're building that wall. He needs to be protected, and it has to be the Tom Brady Buccaneers 2.0, where no one gets behind that offensive line. And he's going to give us, Joe, he's going to give it to us, the second Vince Lombardi, where we have all been for. Let's go Jets, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get it. Can't wait for my number 8 to come in the mail soon.
Listen, Dan, you're fired up. My final question before I let you go, man, you've been spitting some takes. Quinnen Williams, that contract extension situation, right, is still playing out. He's not at OTAs. He told us he would skip the voluntary stuff if we didn't, get it sorted out. And so far he's stuck to that. Give me your thoughts about this situation. And are you worried about this possibly playing out into the mandatory stuff and him possibly skipping mandatory stuff? Give me your thoughts on it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to get some hate here, but here goes. What's the rush with signing this guy? We have him under contract. He had one breakout year when we had an outstanding defensive player of the year in Ahmad Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed. You had finally your pass rushers, and he had one solid year. Now we're all going with potential. We got bit in the butt already with JFM. We got bit in the butt many years before with Muhammad Wilkerson. We also, with that went, we're always
not
basing
the same.
everything on potential. I love the,
it's not the same. Go ahead. I'll let you finish, but it's not the same.
Hold on a second. No, it is the same that is based on potential. It's based on potential where, okay, he's getting better year in, year out, but last year was the breakout. He's still under contract. Joe Douglas sees that there's still some money left over. He's still trying to fill a lot of the other voids. There's no rush. This is why I love Joe Douglas as a GM. He doesn't think like the normal casual Jet fan of the knee-jerk reaction. We got to sign him. If we don't sign him, oh, my God, what kind of precedence does that set for the other young kids? It's not going to set any precedence. Because once that time is up for Garrett Wilson or Breece Hall, whoever the case may be, and Joe deems it that they earn that amount, fine, let's do it. Do I feel Quinnen Williams earned it right now to pay him in May? No.
Why?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it's May. It's May. It's May.
Yeah, but Dan, listen.
Not training camp yet.
It doesn't. But Dan, this is the thing: is we have all these things, all this positivity, everything we got going, right? This guy, Quinnen Williams, you could argue he's the best. He was the best defensive lineman that we had this year. You could argue that he possibly is the best defensive player. With all due respect to Sauce and everything that he did, there's arguments that he's the best defensive player the New York Jets had. You're talking about this year, when you look at the impact that he had, bro, when we were without him, when he didn't play against the Lions, you saw there was a lack of explosion. There was a lack of disruption up front. There was a lack of everything. And you saw the Lions, I think it was Goff, literally just had a field day. He was sitting back there all day for like 30, 40 minutes, just dicing us up, just easy dots, throwing the ball wherever he wanted to go because there was no pressure, right? Now saying that this is 1 year, it's not. Quinnen Williams has been solid for us for quite some time. The problem was he was eating double and triple teams. That was one of the reasons why bringing in Carl Lawson and getting other guys in here, other pass rushers to help in efforts was so big. I remember it. That was the first thing I talked about when we got Carl Lawson signed was you can no longer double or triple team Quinnen Williams. Now you're going to have to pick your poison. And I think that we saw with the defense that had more talent on it, you saw the impact of Quinnen Williams. He led the New York Jets in sacks this season, 12 of them things. So I think that trying to compare him to Muhammad Wilkerson because they're along the defensive line is a bad take because he's done everything the right way. Wilkerson didn't. Dan, we talked about it. Muhammad Wilkerson was skipping practices. He literally was not showing up to practices. And we all knew that. He wasn't showing up to practices. There was things going on, right, where he wasn't there. That's not what's happening with Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is a stand-up guy. He's the leader within the locker room. And not only that, right, you're seeing it pay dividends on the field. He's a guy that's showing up and showing out. Give me your final thoughts on that, man.
Wilkerson, before giving them that money, he was showing up. He was there. He was always there. But when he had that 2015 breakout season at 12 sacks as well, then nonsense started happening. But I digress. With Quinnen Williams, I believe that a contract will be given to him in due time. I think they're probably just cranking out the years. Because if you look at it from Quinnen's standpoint, that he wants to get paid a second time. Like, I think Joe wants to do like maybe a 6-year deal, where if you look at it from the perspective of how much we're going to be giving Aaron Rodgers and how much that we have to start paying, again, Garrett Wilson, then Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, all these other kids. If you do it in a short window, you don't have that much money to spread that cash and those funds. So I think the holdup is that he wants to do a 6-year deal. Quinnen probably wants a 4-year deal. And that, to me, I really hope that Joe Douglas continues hard and maintains it to a 6-year deal, not 4 years.
Okay. I mean, we'll see how things shake out. Yeah, we'll see how things shake out. And again, another domino, and I've talked about this in the past, to fall that could really help aid in Quinnen Williams getting re-signed or getting that extension worked out a bit quicker is Aaron Rodgers. There's been talks that he's going to restructure his deal, and he may give money back, and he's going to help the New York Jets get major cap relief to continue to build around him. So that's something. We already saw Carl Lawson restructure his deal. I think they saved $12.7 million already. We'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. But listen, Dan, I got to slide off. I got other callers. It was phenomenal to speak to you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. It's always good talking football with you.
I love it, man. I always love talking football with you. You have the high football acumen that I always love throwing stuff back and forth to. Keep it up, man. Amazing show as always. God bless, man.
Thank you so much. Always. Thank you. You have yourself a good one, my friend. Salutes Dan calling in. It's always good to speak to him. I love going back and forth with people, talking about this football team, man. A lot of different things moving and shaking, a lot of things happening. All right, we're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. All right, we're going to go to my guy, Ted. I got to go to Ted. He's always got some great takes, man. Ted, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in, but before we let you get on, man, we got to let these people know. Ted, he's a savage. Savage. Damn, Ted is a damn savage. Salutes to you, Ted. Listen, I've gone back and forth, man, talking about Quinnen Williams. There's some Jets fans that feel like he's the second coming of Muhammad Wilkerson if we give him the money. What are your thoughts about this, man? Are you in that same mindset?
How do I follow up that last call, Joe? It's impossible to follow up on that one. That kind of information and energy. So I'll do my best. Joe, he's a homegrown talent. I don't know if he's got the personality. I mean, I'm a fan, but I don't know if he's got he seems to be a family guy. Mm-hmm. He seems to have matured since this gun incident. He's done all the right things. I know he's only proven it for 1 year, but the guy deserves a contract extension as far as I'm concerned. Make the guy happy. He's the core piece of our defense right now. I don't know, Joe. You never know who people are when they get money, but he doesn't strike me as the type of person who would just go off the deep end when he got his contract. Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
No, listen, and I hear – I'll go back and forth, and I even speaking with Dan on the last call, people are constantly saying 1 year of production, and I don't – that's not true at all. The thing we've talked about with Quinnen Williams – right, has always been that he's a good defensive lineman, that he was our best defensive lineman, but that you could triple and double team him and then everybody else would just kind of stand around. That's what we talked about, especially the year that we got Carl Lawson.
I should have said elite, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I should have said elite. Yeah. Elite. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, even Carl Lawson, when we got him, we were excited because it was like, oh, you can't double team Quinnen anymore. And then remember, Carl Lawson tears his ACL in the offseason. We were like, okay, well, hopefully John Franklin Myers can step up. And John did have some games where he was impactful, but for the most of the season, he was gone. He was just kind of disappeared within the scrum. And then we saw that Quinnen Williams, was a guy that he looked good, but he just couldn't get there because there was three guys again in his face. Again, they could triple team him again. So I think with the added talent, right, with Carl Lawson back on the field this season, you saw what he can do. Right now he has 12 sacks, but I mean, if you look at it, 6 sacks last year, 7 the year before. It wasn't like he was a bum. And he's not like a sack demon. He's not a pass rusher. That's never what he was going to be here. But even, when Carl Lawson was hurt, you saw him getting into the backfield, getting those tackles for losses. You saw guys not being able to run, in the gap that he was in because he was so dominant there. So, people talk about production with him and they want to talk sacks, but he's not a pass rusher. That's never what he was going to be, even when we drafted him. But we saw that production this season because he can get there. He can do that, but that's not his forte. But when you look at the tackles for losses, the disruption, the fact that he can stonewall these offenses trying to run at him, that's what you saw with Quinnen Williams, even when guys like Carl Lawson wasn't here. But I think with the added defensive talent and more surrounding him, Huff as well. The emergence of Bryce Huff, I think, helped Quinnen Williams too continue on. And when you look at all of that stuff, you got to pay that guy. Like, you got to pay a guy that's a Pro Bowl or All-Pro guy. You got to pay him because he's showing up. And if you don't pay him, and I understand a lot of Jets fans thinking, oh, well, we ain't got to do it. Then what that does is that reverberates to your locker room. That tells guys like Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, and not even just guys on defense. What about ATV? Right? What about these other guys that we have that are here that are like, okay, well, this guy showed up and was, one of the top guys in the league, and you didn't pay him. Bro, you ain't going to pay me either. And especially when we're talking about changing culture for years. We talk about changing culture. We now have the culture change, and even Quinnen Williams brought up how the New York Jets have a long-standing history of not being able to retain their first rounders. Not having guys that they deem, right, that were good enough to be selected and come in and immediately help to change their franchise, not being able to retain those guys and not making sure that they keep guys that they draft. That's huge. That's huge. And if you get him re-signed and you can get him, back into the building, taken care of and good to go, you break that curse. You break that situation. You break that narrative that's being painted about the Jets of being cheapskates and not understanding how to manage their team. Give me your thoughts on that, man.
Hey, Joe, two things. That's the direct reflection on our ineffective, our ability to not draft well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing. We have been drafting poorly. Before Joe Douglas got here, we weren't a very good drafting team, except for Quinnen.
Yeah.
Secondly, you're right about Quinnen. This year he played at an elite level. He was hurt. I think he was hurt the first year.
Yeah.
He played through an injury, ankle, I believe. He had an ankle injury. He played through that. Another thing, Joe, is this defense should not be on the field that much this year. Way less than last year. With this kind of offense, or in 2-minute drives, which is possible too. But I think we may be a little more ball control against certain teams, keep their offenses off the field, such as Kansas City. I would think we're going to try to limit possessions. So I think Quinnen will be a little fresher. They logged a lot of minutes with Zach Wilson at the at the quarterback.
Yes.
So I could see them being a completely different defense. And then you add an edge rusher. And Joe, another thing real quick. They added that really large nose tackle type of run stuffer from Seattle. That's going to be a big.
And Woods as well.
Yeah, I want to say yes. I don't want to say. Is my connection okay, Joe? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
We've got a thunderstorm here.
You're good. Go ahead.
A lot of these little signings may not look like a lot on the surface, but to get a run stuffer like that, which we lacked, to control the middle of the field against some of these rushers, not only running backs but like a Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You got to keep him kind of in the pocket maybe and deal with that kind of guy. I'm not expecting a nose tackle to contain him, but he can occupy space.
Yeah.
So that's something we lacked. So we're putting together the pieces, Joe. And Quinnen is a key cog in the defense. Like I said, we should have got it done. We're not going to hang him out to dry. He's too much of a talent. We're not going to trade him for 3 first-rounders. We're setting ourselves back. Joe.
Yeah.
Sign the guy.
Yep.
Get him into camp. Get him happy. Get him a baby bassinet for his baby, whatever color I don't know what is it, boy or a girl, whatever you got to get, and just get him in the building. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I mean you're speaking facts there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I get why some Jets fans are. I hear it. I'm not gonna say I get it, but I hear well, just trade him, just trade this guy, get some more draft. It's like, listen, the point of the draft is to acquire talent that you want to be able to stick around in your football team to continue to impact your franchise for years to come. If you're just constantly, getting rid of guys that are showing you the goods, right, that can make an impact on your football team, then what are you doing? That's why we've been bad for so long. We haven't been able to keep that type of talent on our football team for years to come. I mean, Quinnen Williams talked about it. There's various guys, various first-rounders we've let slide away that have gone other places and been able to have impact. So I want to see Quinnen Williams, be able to play here for years to come and do his thing, and we'll see how things shake out. But I tell you what, another first-round guy that has come out and spoke his mind. It's my guy, my friend and yours, MEKHI Becton. Okay, recently came out and talked about the knee injury, right? Last offseason that costed him the year. Also talked about the switch to right tackle, saying it made no sense for the Jets to move him to right tackle. What are your thoughts about this, man? How are you feeling about MEKHI Becton coming out in an interview and saying these things?
I said it last week, Joe. He should just be quiet. And now I don't know, Joe. I called him a whiner in the chat. It's just enough is enough, dude. Get on the field.
All right.
Get on the field, make plays, and you can earn your money. Now it's time to work. You want to keep just chirping away. Some people aren't going to like it too much. I don't know, Joe. I'm old school.
Yeah.
Just go out and play and back it up. And I get what he's saying, but maybe that should have been internal. If he's going to complain about getting hurt because he's a left tackle playing right, then again, I think left tackles make a lot more money. So maybe he's kind of making a stand for himself.
Oh, they do. Oh, man, left tackles. That's why I used to tell people all the time that would be like, well, Joe, we ain't got to draft the left tackle. We could just pay one in free agency. Brother, sister, fellow Jet fan, are you out of your mind?
They don't
grow on trees. How much they get paid? Like, people don't be thinking those guys get paid a lot of money. I mean, we'll see what happens going forward. But, he had quite a bit to say. I was a little surprised that the Jets, what he said about the coaching staff not caring about the knee injury when he was telling them, hey, my knee is jacked up over here playing right tackle. We got to figure this out. I would think that they would have gave him some time, to kind of get it together, or at least went and had the knee looked out, because then, as we saw subsequently, the knee ended up getting jacked up, fracturing his kneecap. It buckled, and he ended up missing the rest of the, that season as well. So it's tough, man.
Joe.
Yeah.
You really think he wasn't medically cleared to play? I mean, he's got to be. Every week they got to be checked, especially a guy with an injury history. If he's going to say my knee hurts, I mean, I'm going to imagine they're going to come with an orthopedic and turn his knee around a little, or do a scan or something. I would think. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be like, hey, MEKHI, get in there and be quiet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he said. So, but again, I could look at it from the other side. Maybe they just thought, hey, he's complaining because he's not at left tackle, but it is what it is, right? The past is the past. And
yes, sir.
He's looking like he's in phenomenal shape. He's in a better mental space, and he's ready to go.
He is.
But I tell you what, we're hearing a lot of great things about Zach Wilson as well, right? Great OTA stuff. He's making throws. He's going out there. He's looking good. And they're attributing a lot of the growth and maturity and a lot of things we're seeing out there in OTAs, the energy, to us being able to acquire Aaron Rodgers, right? We acquired him. Things are looking good. Of course, he did tweak his calf today, but everything's looking all right. He took a day to kind of sit down from that, but he still was out there on the field. But we're hearing about the impact that he's having, right? With guys on the field, he'll stop things, break it down if it's not, ran the way it should be ran. And in the film room, we're hearing about him, breaking things down in the film room as well and talking to guys. Give me your thoughts on the impact that Aaron Rodgers is having on this team so far from a leadership perspective. And also give me your thoughts on, the impact that he's having on Zach Wilson and your thoughts about Zach Wilson.
Joe, that's what you get when you get a guy. You go from a learn on the job guy like Zach Wilson to a Hall of Famer, older quarterback like Rodgers, who's basically a coach on the team, knows everything about the offense. I watched the CJ Uzomah press conference, and Uzomah just said that Rodgers told him, "You don't have to do like the route exactly. You go to a spot, and, you could be in this area, and I'll find you if you're open. You don't have to do an exact." Whatever the route is. So I think Rodgers is energized. You could tell he loves it. He's got a new energy. He's been in Green Bay his whole career, obviously, and that got dull for him. Whether I could see it. He's getting a fresh start. I think the jump from Nathaniel Hackett, LaFleur to Hackett is going to help Wilson immensely.
Yeah,
immensely, because. That may be, Joe, we may look at this in 3 years, and that may be the greatest thing that came out of this, if we're lucky enough.
Yeah.
That Wilson developed, because, like you said, Wilson has the ability. He was put in a bad spot. Like I said before, Joe, he basically shouldn't have been anointed as starter. And Joe Douglas actually said it, last week. He said, we kind of made a mistake here. We pushed him out there with the rookie offensive coordinator. You want to talk about a debacle? It's tough to watch that whole season. What a tough year to watch that. Joe, there's a lot of promise, Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, it's tough. Look, I understand that LaFleur was a rookie offensive coordinator, and there was some spots. But I'll tell you what, even year 2, when Mike White would come in, we would see just a completely different offense. And they were running the same stuff, but it looked completely different. So I understand everybody wants to shell LaFleur because he ain't here, right? It's easy to kick a guy that's gone. But I'm just saying, Mike White, everybody else looked great in the offense. Even Flacco looked better than Zach. So did Josh Johnson, Mike White. All those guys look better. And it was just Zach's. But maybe, like you said as well, and I've talked about this, maybe LaFleur just didn't have that kind of hand for a young quarterback, right? A guy that you need to coach up, but maybe it just wasn't a fit for that. But you brought up a great point. Nathaniel Hackett being a guy that's worked with very poor quarterbacks before, he turned Blake Bortles into a guy that was more than competent. And Blake Bortles was terrible, right? His whole career, terrible.
Yeah.
But Blake Bortles had one heck of a year under Nathaniel Hackett in the way he was able to utilize him. So maybe, again, with Hackett being here, and again, Aaron Rodgers, the guy that literally helped Hackett build the system that he runs now, being here as well, we'll see Zach Wilson definitely take a step forward. So my final question before I let you go, man, because this has been, quite a great discussion with you. Quan Alexander, do you believe the New York Jets will be able to get that guy re-signed? Quickly, give me your thoughts.
Well, the Steelers haven't signed him yet, have they? So,
nope.
I don't know, Joe. I don't see why not. Depending on the years and the salary, I don't see why we couldn't. We need to add a few more pieces. He was a good player last year, solid player. I say maybe that's his choice to go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not a bad team, and Kenny Pickett doesn't look like a bad quarterback, actually. Somehow they made that one work. Even though that guy got hurt constantly, his guy's a gamer. Kenny Pickett? Is that the right quarterback? Quarterback from the Steelers. Is that guy the right guy?
Yeah, that's probably. I think he is. I think he's the guy now.
I'm losing it. Anyway, we should get him, Joe. Maybe 1-2 years. Go with him. He's got the experience in the defense. But sign Quinn and Joe. Go ahead, Joe. Yeah, I know you got other callers.
Yeah. Listen, Ted, I want to thank you for calling in. I got to slide off. We're going to shut down the show. You have yourself a good one. Joe. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man.
I will be there, Joe. Have a good evening.
Absolutely. You have a good one. Listen, Ted coming in with some great takes. I respect it. So we're talking that talk. I got to shut down the show, all right? Blog Talk's going to start hating on me a little bit and shut down my lines. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. You want to go back and forth? All right? I'm all about it. Give me your takes about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. Okay? A lot of takes going on here. A lot of things moving and sliding around. Got a lot of things going on. But hold on, before I go, let me see this last caller here quickly. Couple seconds. We're gonna go to the final caller before I close out this show. Salutes. I want to thank you for calling in. Quickly, give me your thoughts on MEKHI Becton saying that it was the New York Jets should not have moved the right tackle. Give me your thoughts.
I feel like he should have never. I feel like he should have listened to the. I feel like he should have, been on the left side of the tackle if he felt comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, they should have listened to his injuries as well too, because his body. He knows his body is best and stuff. So I definitely feel like they should have definitely looked into that as well.
Yeah.
But I think the coaching failed him in a way a little bit. So I understand his side of saying it, but I'm not mad at MEKHI.
Okay. Listen, I got to slide off. That's Val. I got to slide off.
90 seconds.
They're about to shut me down. Next time I have a show, you call earlier, man. I want to hear from you.
Okay.
All right, Val? All right. Listen.
Okay, yeah, I got.
Oh, sorry. We have to shut off Val. Val, salutes. Again, thank you for calling in. I'm going to continue to shut down the show here. I had to get that take in there. Listen, all right? Again, I'm on YouTube as well. Or, I'm on Twitter, at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe. Go ahead and follow. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times. That boy's a beast. I can't wait till him to come back. I'm also on YouTube as well, okay? Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you want to troll me, hit in the comments. I'll troll you. We can go back and forth. And as always, people, when you see me in person, there's arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. I want to thank everyone for calling in. All right? I thank everyone for being a part of the program. Thank you for getting in the chat, all the savages. Again, I want to thank Robert from the Orange County Jets fans for calling in tonight, talking to us about his fan club, and just spreading his love for the Jets as well. Everybody get involved with them any way that you can. Facebook, Orange County Jets fan. Find that page and go check out those folks. I'm going to definitely try to catch a game with them. I want to thank everybody for listening. Without you folks, I'm not doing nothing. Thank you for taking the dams out of your day to sit and talk with your boy. You folks have a good one. Peace.
10 seconds.
Hold on a second, folks. Whoo, pow. All right, that was a hot show. Listen, as y'all saw, okay, for those of you that are new, I run a 2-hour show, all right? I run a 2-hour show. We generally start at 7 p.m. Eastern. My schedule is a little wacky, so we had to move and shake. Salutes to Val. Tried to get you in there last second, as we were shutting down the show. I saw you. Try to get callers in there, but again, we had to shut the show down as y'all heard, all right? So we run a 2-hour show. I have a lot of fun doing it. We're all about connecting with Jets fans. For those of you that are new to my platform and my program, exclamation point links in the chat brings up my link tree. Link tree has the links to all, of my social media platforms. Also has the links to all of my YouTube pages, all right? I do reactions. More of those are coming. Trust me, they're coming. We react to a lot of crazy things going on around the internet, all this crazy stuff. So just please go over there and check that out as well. Subscribe to those channels. We also have other content coming as well. But please subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know, and give the stream a thumbs up. We have a lot of fun over here. We do these shows year-round. Year-round, okay? We do these shows. We sit down and we talk about the New York Jets, and we have a lot of fun. Keep in mind there are rules to my show. I don't have a ton of rules, but I do have rules, okay? 1, do not call into my show cursing or I'll get you out of here, okay? I don't play that. This is a family show, all right? We have young people that call in here. We have young people that watch and listen. We also have older people. Please respect my platform. I don't allow cursing on my platform. You start cursing crazy and I'll get you out of here. I understand this team sometimes will drive you there, all right? I've been on the brink myself, but there are rules that need to be followed. Don't call into my show cursing or I'll get you out of here fast. Also, don't call into my show cursing, or don't call into my show yelling, okay? Trying to yell over people, not with that. We have a discussion here. I love passion. I love going back and forth. As y'all saw tonight, we had a bunch of passionate callers, okay? They call in. They want to talk about the team. I'm all about it. Don't call in trying to yell over me or I'll get you out of here. I need to be able to have a functional discussion with you. If we can't have a discussion, Even if I don't agree with your takes, all right? If we can't have a discussion, then I don't know what to do. Because if my listeners can't understand what you're saying because you just yelling a bunch and yelling crazy, I can't understand what you're saying, what can I do? All right. Also, keep in mind when you call into my show, okay, because this is just a call-in number. I can hear you. That's how it's phone, all right? Make sure your phone's good. Please do not call me from a phone that you found in the muffler of an old Cadillac Seville, okay? Don't call me for that, all right? Don't call me from that phone. I love Sevilles, all right? They're good cars. But don't call me from that phone. Call me from a phone that is good, that I can hear you from, all right? Please have good reception. Don't call me, okay, from the middle of a wind tunnel. I need to be able to hear you. If I can't hear you, my audience can't hear you, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? All right? So please make sure your phone and your reception is good to go. Don't call me on some crazy headsets where I can barely hear you. All right, please just let me be able to hear you. If you're echoing all crazy, you got me on speakerphone, you're trying to talk to me from another room. No, I need to be able to hear you. So please make sure your reception is good and make sure your background is clear of noise. You know, people try to call me. They're at work. I understand you got to get your money, but you and your jackhammer at work, you trying to talk to me about the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. Whoa. Put all that down, walk away from the construction site, go down the street. I need to be able to hear you, okay? And so does my audience, all right? So please make sure your background is clear of crazy noise, all right? That's all I ask. We need to be able to hear you. No background noise, no crazy stuff. I need to be able to properly understand what you're saying, okay? So, you know, we do that. Also, when you call in, please keep in mind, I have a queue system. I can see you, okay? I can physically see that you're calling in. If you wait your time, trust me, you're going to get on. Generally, my wait times are not very long, okay? Y'all saw tonight we had callers. There's been other shows we had tons of callers. Generally, I give you about 5 to 8 minutes to get your discussion about what we're doing, or get your takes out about what we're discussing here. We go back and forth. So if you call in and hang up and call in and hang up and call in and hang up, that's not going to work, okay? It'll just put you at the bottom of the queue, and then you'll just be waiting. I can see you. I know other people, you know, some people, different systems. My system is a queue system. I can see you, okay? So when you call in, just wait. And if I don't know you by name, I will call out your area code. I had another discussion with someone recently. I'm not going to say who it was, that didn't know their area code. Okay? Please know what area code you're calling in from so that when you call in and I call your area code, you will know that I'm talking to you. Okay? Please do. Speaking to people in the past that didn't know their area codes, and when I said, hey, was this you? You were calling in from this area code. And they said, oh, yeah, I was. Yeah, that's why I told you to come on, and then you evaporated. Okay? Please know what your area code is. All right? If I don't know you by name, I'll call you by area code, and then we'll have the discussion. All right? I have a lot of fun doing this. I have a lot of fun talking about this football team. I'm excited. I'm excited about discussion surrounding this team. So please be prepared because we have a lot of fun. Yeah, so that's what I do there. So just be patient. And again, you know, be prepared. Also, okay, for those of you that are confused, and Val's here, that's great because he's going to hate on this, all right? You see this number at the bottom? This number does not change, and it won't change for the foreseeable future unless I tell you, but it's not going to change, okay? That's the number to my show, okay? So my show, again, generally starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's on different days. Sometimes I have a wacky schedule. But 7 p.m. Eastern, okay, is when my show starts generally. So what people do to get on the show earlier, they call in at like 6:55 p.m. Eastern or sometimes 6:50 because that's when the lines open up. And they wait about 5 to 10 minutes. And then they come on to the show earlier because they're literally the first, you know, people on the show. That's what veteran callers do here. That's how you hear certain guys getting on earlier because, again, I go down the queue system and I respect everybody's time. That's how certain guys get on a lot earlier than, you know, the rest of callers that call in. And again, we have a lot of great, phenomenal callers, and I'm all about going back and forth with everybody. But if you want to get on the show earlier, that's how you do it. And the reason I put that out there is because veteran guys that have been here a while, that listen to my show for a while, that's what they do. So I wanted to be fair, so that's why I put it out there. And I know Val's going to hate on this because this is something that Val does, okay? He's done this multiple times. And he's, hopefully he'll continue to do it. I enjoy talking to Val. I don't have no problem with Val. He don't hate on me. He hate on y'all, okay? Val has been known to tell people that he wants his shine, and he going to get his shine by any means necessary, okay? And if that means outflanking you and calling in early and waiting, again, generally the show starts. I'll talk for maybe 8, maybe 9, 10 minutes, and then I go straight to the lines. Val be wanting to get on. So, yeah, that's how you do it. So I know Val's probably going to hate on that. In the past, he has told people not to listen to it and don't do it because that's what he does, all right? But salutes to Val. Salutes to everybody that calls in. We get to everybody, but you want to get on earlier, that's how you do it, all right? So, with that said, listen, we have a lot of fun. You might see me gaming on this channel as well. If you catch a boy with, gaming at some point, I'll get back to that. I know there's a lot of people that are extremely upset with me not gaming enough. As y'all see, Val says mute that part of the show. Mute that part of what I was talking about because he don't want y'all to hear that that's how he gets on early. Or that's how other people get on early as well. Now, I'm not going to say it's squarely just Val, but Val is definitely a big culprit of doing that, and I have no problem with it. I open the lines early before the show starts, and that's how it works. All right. So, yeah, you might see me gaming at some point when my schedule allows. So, if you see that, hey, come on in, join your boy, and come have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun doing that as well, too. It can get wild. All right. So, yeah, we have a blast gaming. Also, we do live show or live game reactions as well during the year. We'll watch a game together, and then directly after the game, it's a radio show. Those shows are usually those shows are hot, okay? They've been really scrappy in the past. I'm hoping that's a lot better this year, but those shows are scrappy, okay? All right, so all of that is what we do here. We have a lot of fun. Also, please subscribe to my other YouTube channels. I have reactions and stuff coming. Those are a blast to do. We'll get back to those reactions. More reactions coming very soon. So, with that said, listen, it's been phenomenal speaking with y'all. Val salutes. Val says not true at all. Yeah. Don't let Val lie to y'all, man. Val says, I say let MEKHI compete for the left tackle position. If he loses, then he had to go to the right side. Yeah, I think they'll do that. Salutes to GVH. Good to see you in here. GVH says outlaw. GVH says good evening, Joe. Hope MEKHI does what is best for the team like ATV did. Brown at left tackle and Becton, at right tackle. Then Mitchell or Warren or Turner at right tackle, one would think. That's interesting. We'll see. I tell you what, if MEKHI takes that left tackle spot, it's going to be very interesting to see how that right tackle spot shakes out. Very interesting. Salutes to Jets Turbulence. Good to see you in here. Jets Lounge. Salutes to you. Jets Lounge Chaos. Always good to see you as well. Jets Mess. Salutes to you as well. Christopher Phillips. Salutes. Good to see you in here. NY Jets FL. Salutes. Jeffy. Salutes to you. Casey. Always good to see you in here. He's going off. A-Fung. Salutes to you. Oh, man. Salutes to everybody, man, that just came on by. Adrian Gutierrez, salutes to you. Good to see you in here. I think it's Jonesy Derby. I think I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. If I am, please correct me. But Jonesy, always good to see you in here as well. I believe you're an overseas guy. I think you're from Germany. Salutes. Good to see you in here. And salutes to everybody from overseas that listens to me. I've gone back and forth with a lot of overseas fans recently. Salutes to everybody. Salutes to everybody, man, that came on by and joined your boy. Ronald Perry, always good to see you in here. Niger, salutes to you as well. Joe Tape salutes. Orlando C. How about them Jets? Always good to see you guys in here, man. We have a lot of fun in here, and I want to thank you guys for, or you folks, excuse me, you ladies and gentlemen, for coming on in and joining me and talking Jets. So I'll let you folks know later on when the next show is going to be. We're having a lot of fun. We're going to continue this, going on, and hope everything's going well. But listen, be safe, okay? Be safe, people. There's a lot of crazy things going on in this world, and don't ask me why they're happening, but they're happening. Listen, be safe. Sit down with your friends and your family. Eat some good food. Watch some good TV. Make some great memories, okay? Let the people that you love know that you love them. It's extremely important. Extremely important in my life. I hope it's extremely important in your life as well. All right? So I'm going to get on up out of here. Again, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. Give the stream a thumbs up. Also share it across the platform share it across the social media with your friends and family, man. So I'm going to get on up out of here. I'll see y'all on the next show. You folks have a good one.